On this episode, I'll walk deep into the remote Kakwa Wildlands in Alberta.
Hello everyone. I just on my way to Kakwa Wildland Park today. I'm gonna be spending the next 2 nights and 3 days there, hiking backcountry, snowshoeing through some deep snow, crossing some treacherous ground, maybe climbing a mountain, checking out Kakwa Falls, hopefully climbing a mountain like I said, and that could be Mount May, Mount Kakwa, we don't know yet. It's all gonna be played by ear. Mount Kakwa is steeper than I thought and impassable, then I'll be going to Mount May, and regardless I'm gonna try to get up some mountain. I don't know which one, but I'm getting up some mountain this trip, and I'm gonna see some waterfalls. I got my backpack to the right of me right now, and in it is 3 video cameras, a Panasonic, 2 Sonys. I was gonna bring a helmet cam, but I thought 3 should be plenty enough. I got a waterproof sports pack, a marine sports pack, value of $200, and what's that gonna do is it's gonna help me a lot in this blizzard I'm driving in right now, and it's gonna protect my cameras and allow me to get some footage that I otherwise would not get. So that is why I brought it. Right now it is March 20th, 1 a.m. and this is the beginning of my hike. I'm not on foot yet, obviously, but this is the start of my trip. I have to head to the end of Two Lake Road, past the Sherburne Meadows, just north of the Kakwa Wildland Park, and yeah, there's a good chance I'm gonna be hiking in some extreme weather. Just to give an update of how things are going here so far. They're not going too well. I couldn't make it as far in the road as I expected to. That was my first problem. I could only get to 17 kilometers away from the falls. Not only that, I also got stuck. And now I'm walking in total darkness. There's a wet snow coming down, so I'm using the sports pack, and I realize now that I don't have the right mount, so I might as well not even have the sports pack. So that was a waste of time, and I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Don't want to get the camera wet. And the biggest problem is my flashlight keeps on falling down on my face like this. It just keeps on coming down, and combined with this wet snow and the flashlight coming down on my face, I can't really even see where I'm going. So I'm off to a horrible start, and I'm not even getting any footage out of it. So I'm pretty frustrated right now, and I'm just gonna keep walking, change the batteries in my GPS, keep walking. And another thing to add to the problem is I also happen to be carrying a pretty smelly fish, a tilapia, in my backpack, so pretty sure that there's a lot of cougars around this area. That shouldn't really help deter them too much, and actually probably bring them in. Well, I think it's a better time to introduce this video now. So, the night never went too well. The waterproof case there I had problems with. I thought I had it wrong, but I actually just never pushed it in enough. I just tried it now and it's working good. There was a damp, heavy snow, and since I thought the waterproof case wasn't going to work, I never used it at all.
So I missed out on a lot of footage. It was a heavy snow, one of the heaviest snowfalls I've seen, like really damp, wet snow. I'm soaked right now, and I got a pretty good chill going. So I have to try to make it to Kakwa Falls so I can get a fire going and hopefully find something to eat in my backpack. I just came from down there. That's Stinking Creek. It's just a big creek valley. It's quite the climb with that hiking bag of mine. It's all packed right full of stuff. I took 3 cameras today. And the reason I'm doing this trip is because this summer, June or July of 29, I'm going to be going on a 130 kilometer walk through the Duck Mountain in Manitoba. Of course, it's going to be in the summer, lower altitude. I'm not going to have to deal with this mountainous weather. It's going to be a cakewalk, I think, compared to this. This is maybe going to be 60 kilometers at the most, which I've probably only done 15 right now, and I'm already worn out. The hills are killing me, and my backpack. I should have never brought 3 cameras. I've only took about 10 minutes of footage, and I'm probably gonna scrap that stuff from the truck there on the way out. I should mention I brought this today. This is a new satellite system they got called Spot. Whenever I can do it right now, actually, just turn it on. If I hold down OK, it'll send a text message and an email to 3 different people for the company I work for, Infinite Forestry. And once it beeps green there twice, then they know that everything is going good out here, and they'll get my coordinates and they'll see where I last was. So now, if they don't hear from me from this moment on, they know that the last spot I was seen was right here. So I'm just gonna shut it off now. But yeah, my main issue right now is the fact that everything is soaked. I'm soaked right to the bone, and I'm guessing it's probably -10. I'm not too confident in the weather yet. It could change again. That heavy snowfall just brutalized me, and it could come again. Maybe this is only a 20-minute clear sky. I figured I better get the camera out. And thank God I figured out that waterproof case, because now, once I do get to the waterfall, I can actually use it. So I guess I'm just gonna continue here. And you may have noticed, may not have, that I decided to do the snowshoe system this time. I'm not gonna lie, I brought some survival gear. This is a little different than Manitoba, where I know I can always get out. I always know my way around. I'm in the mountains here. If I got freezing rain, I could be in serious trouble. I have to be ready for pretty much everything. So I brought nightsticks. I brought 5 different sources of ignition, fire starters of all kinds, matches, lighters, anything, you name it, I got it. I got snare wire, fishing hooks, line, 2 liters of water, a bunch of other survival gear, and yeah, I did bring a tilapia too, a fish tilapia. I was kind of nervous about it on the walk in here because I don't know if you heard me say earlier, that stupid headlamp of mine kept on falling in my face and blinding me, so if I was going to get jumped by an animal, I would be a deer in the headlights because I would have got blinded, and kept falling in my face every 10 seconds, maybe 10-20 seconds, and all I'd see is just a bright spot, just like when you look into a headlight. And so I would have had no chance, and the tilapia being in my backpack, rotting away, smelling, sending the scent 10 kilometers probably didn't help, but I guess I turned out good. I'm still here. Cameras are still here, that's good. Still do a lot of filming, so I think it's gonna work out good. My backpack ready here. Continue on the trail. I probably will give you a chance to see what's inside once I set up camp. I'm just trying to keep moving here because being soaked for 5 hours and then stopping. Look at these gloves soaked, and stopping at all in anything below zero, it's just something I don't want to do, something I want to avoid because I'm going to freeze instantly. I'm not wearing the greatest jacket, it's paper thin, but I do have 2 sweaters which are also soaked. And basically what I'm saying is I need a good fire tonight. Without a fire, I'm not gonna make it too far tomorrow. I'm gonna need a good shelter in case it's gonna soak me again, and a good fire. Alright, head back, head further into the trail. Got my GPS ready. Long walk yet, probably 10K at least. Actually, let's hear some music as I walk away. Begin to describe how nice it is out here in the mountains though. I'm pretty cold right now actually, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Beautiful scenery, crisp air. It doesn't get much better than this. I've always said there's nothing better than the springs in Duck Mountain and remote country. There's no disturbance, no oil leases, there's forestry of course, but there's not much else. No oil and gas, but honestly, coming out here, Kakwa Wildlands, remote wilderness park, I don't know. I'm not saying it's better, but it's phenomenal, that's for sure. Just take a look and see what I mean. Well, it's official. Finally made it to the Kakwa Wildlands. Must have done about 14 kilometers already, or maybe more. Uphill, downhill, side hill, everything. And this is only a start. Still got at least 8 kilometers to go to the Kakwa Falls. I'm freezing cold right now. I just came up to Dead Horse Meadows. I found a little outhouse here. I got all the dehydrated food. Since I drank all my water, I can't mix this properly, so I'm just eating it dry. And it's unbelievable how good it is. I'm starving right now, and I've been walking since 3 a.m. I'm on zero sleep. I was staying up, getting stuff ready before I started driving at midnight. So that's unbelievable what this is doing for me right now. I'm shivering, and I shouldn't have stopped, but I couldn't hold myself up anymore. Get to the last 3.6 kilometers to go to the river. It's 2 o'clock, and I gotta push through. I gotta get there by 3 or 4. I'm gonna say 4, and I'm gonna build a shelter. There's the old backpack. I gotta say, it's not too appetizing, even regardless of how hungry I am. I don't have much of an appetite sitting in here. Might have something to do with the smell. Another thing I could make use of is this toilet paper here. That might come in handy for building a fire. And I could probably use it to clean my camera lenses as well. I've always thought one of the hardest things about filming hikes like this is not only carrying the extra luggage around and all that extra weight and tiring yourself out, but the time is a huge issue. I had over 2 kilometers to walk across country after this Dead Horse Meadows you're witnessing here, and that's not I didn't have a lot of time, only a few hours of daylight left, and it would have been hard enough to make it without filming at all, but to film myself crossing the meadows here the 2 or 3 times that I did really slowed things down. I had to go back to get the camera all the time. The pain is only one small consequence for the beauty of the land you see. Self-made through this Dead Horse Meadow, 2.87 kilometers, and I'll be that much closer. Of course, sitting here now watching this, I know I could have done a lot more, but it's just so hard when you're out there to think that way. I really hate coming back for the camera. Back across Dead Horse Meadows a 3rd time. It's not gonna end there. I'm gonna have to run my backpack. There's a big hill I see coming up, and from where my backpack is, it's actually 3 kilometers. I just figured that out. So it'll be a bit of time yet. It's always funny, like power through 20k no problem and get to last 3 or 4 and just feel completely dead.
Filming hiking shots like this, it's basically you're walking everything twice. You gotta go back for the camera each and every time.
That was a challenge. And it's all uphill from here. I'll get as much carbs as I can before I take on that big hill. $50 grams of carbs per serving, which is half of this bag. This is gonna give me the boost I need. My feet are wet, body's wet, my toque is wet. I don't have a chill right now because I just walked across dead horse meadow about 4 times. I did that for camera angles and just for fun, I guess, just so whoever's watching this can see what it's like to cross it. I guess I know what it's like. The only reason I tape it is to show the experience, I guess. So I was burnt out before I even got to the dead horse meadow. Now doing that, camera angle, and it's snowing again. Sun came out for 10 minutes, snowing again. I think it's gonna be a rough night. But you know, camping next to the waterfall could be minus 30 for all I care. I'm gonna be next to the biggest waterfall in Alberta.
To be completely honest, 1 kilometer walking up this steep cut line and in all this deep sticky snow was tougher than the entire trek to get to this point.
This hill, 2.3 kilometers away from the Kakwa waterfall. And this hill here is killing me. The last mile is always going to be the toughest. It's layer after layer and it's on a diagonal. I don't know if you can see that behind me. That's what I have to go up yet. And this is what I came from. And again, I don't know if the camera does any justification, but it is pretty steep. And the worst of it is the snow sticks to the boots really bad. It's like sugar. Gotta make it to the waterfall. Oh man, it just gets worse. Golly for this Engelmann spruce is pretty deep. I'm in past my waist right now, and the only way through is to plow through. I really hope this starts going down soon. So the past 300 meters have just felt like the entire trip to me, and I still gotta make it 2 kilometers. It's 4 p.m. after 4 p.m. and I haven't even thought of a shelter location, shelter type. I don't even know what's there. Could get myself into trouble here, but I guess all I can do now is keep plowing through the snow. Foot keeps wanting to slide over the face. I gotta make sure I stay on the right bearing here, because I don't want to lose a single second right now. Straight up yet. how deep that is.
I can't even begin to describe what the snow was like in that Kakwa Wildland Park. It was very soft, and I can't even count the amount of times I fell. But of course now I get to sit back here and relax and enjoy the show.
We're starting to go downhill right after this hill. Going downhill, so much nicer. Look at this forest. I'm soaked enough that I might as well jump in the waterfall when I get there. That's how soaked I am. I'm pretty excited to finally see this waterfall after close. Whoa. 28 kilometers. 8:16. 24. About 26, and then all the videotaping. Yeah, probably close to 28 kilometers. Melted in your mouth. And there's lots of water in my glove. I need fresh water. 1.9 to go. Ground is flattening out, but the snow is still very sticky. Can't get very much momentum going here. Every time I get going fast, I just fall. Time is 4:40. I gotta be at that fall at 5:20. That's the only way I can get a fire going on time. I only have 3 hours to deal with here. I guess tomorrow I'm gonna have to skip the Saturday plans and get the hell out of here, because it's gonna take me all day. Just get back to the Dead Horse Meadow, and then I have to walk 26 kilometers by Sunday afternoon and get to my truck Sunday afternoon. And I'm probably stuck there now because of all this snow. It's good turnout to be a bit of a disaster tonight. I've never been this soaked in the winter like this, and had to stay the night. Like, I have no choice now. I have to stay the night, and I have to stay tomorrow night probably. So pretty much it's gonna suck. I don't know how big this river is, where it actually is, or if this is just all marsh or clearing, but there you can see a stream flowing in the middle there. I don't think it's too much of a threat, but with these snowshoes I'd get trapped pretty easy. But I have to get across to get to Kakwa, and I don't have the energy to walk around, so I got a V-line right across. And I don't have much time. I'm almost halfway across. I can't. So thirsty. I feel the slope picking up now. I think I'm through the danger zone.
It's no secret, the more physically tired you become and exhausted you get, and things like dehydration, you really start to slow down on the thinking. Like, normally I wouldn't cross a stream like that without some careful planning, But I was so tired, I just wanted to get my campsite, and I really didn't care. I took the risk, and it turned out well. Other times it may not have, and in the past I've crossed streams and lakes where I knew there was beaver runs, and they were very dangerous. I was just so exhausted. I just wanted to get to my site, and I pushed through it without any care at all, and thankfully it always worked out for me. But I think it's really important to slow down and really consider what you're doing or what your other options are, and if you are that tired, maybe it's time to stop and make a fire or have something to eat.
Completely gassed out. Every step feels like 50. Feels like I'm lifting concrete blocks with my boots. It hasn't stopped dripping and raining and snowing and sleet and everything. And I'm still 1.4 from the waterfall. And I can barely take another step, so I'm not so much concerned about getting to the waterfall. I'm concerned it's going to be pretty dark, and I'm concerned that I have 28 kilometers to walk out tomorrow.
I've always found that setting smaller goals is the best way to get a long distance. I always think, well, if I could just make it across that creek, or if I can make it up that hill or down to that valley, then I'll be doing good. And then when I do make it, I set my next goal. Well, now I made it here. Maybe I should try to make it to the next river before I stop again, or maybe I should walk for an hour or 3 kilometers before I stop. And that strategy works.
Oh God. It's just never gonna end. I'm 1.3 away, and I'm going almost pretty vertical here.
One of my least favorite things about hiking in the mountainous areas and foothills is you never know what you're standing on. Like, there's many times where I thought I was on a foot of snow and I ended up falling in over my waist. There could be a crevice below you. You just never know. Like, there's always surprises in the mountains.
I really need this fire to go. Without fire tonight, I would be done. Basically, my only option would be to turn around and walk right back out. And I could never do that. But I never even made it to the river. I'm 200 meters away. Took a fall, got soaked again. And my body's starting to shiver, so if I don't have this fire now, like, sure I could make it to the river, but then what do I do once I'm there? If there's no firewood or no possible place to make a fire. I couldn't take the risk. I have to get heat right now. Yes! This is probably going to be the worst shelter of my life, because there is no shelter. I see some spruce branches over there. I'm going to grab those and use my space blanket and just burrow under some snow or something. Come on.
After walking for several hours through waist-deep snow and high amount of precipitation, wet snow, and even a bit of a rain, I finally gave up. I was probably no more than 200 meters away from my destination, which was the Kakwa Falls, and I absolutely had to stop and make a fire. If I pushed any further, I kept on falling, and I would literally stand there and my eyes would close and I'd fall over. So I stopped and made a fire, and then an initial wave of heat on my face and body is exactly what I needed. It got me thinking clear, got my thoughts together, and thought about what I needed to do for shelter, which was me putting snowshoes and a space blanket over my head and huddling next to the fire all night. But even the fire went out several times and I had to abandon it, and I eventually did get down to the Kakwa Falls at about 2 or 3 in the morning. Lost my flashlight, built another fire, which was warmer, huddled against a spruce tree in a little drier of a spot, and then that night I wandered off and found an outhouse and ended up sleeping in the outhouse until the very next morning, where I ventured off to tape the Kakwa Falls, which didn't turn out because my camera wouldn't record due to the low temperature. So yeah, I spent the night in an outhouse. I was shivering all night and literally heating myself with a candle, 2 different candles, and that wasn't very good. Had it not been for that outhouse, I don't know what I would have done. It was so nice to get out of that rain, since the fire wasn't turning out well. Just want to thank everyone for watching this show, and hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it.